I'm out. Hope you well. Yes, just start off with team news. How's everybody looking for the weekend?
Yeah, obviously, we had a couple players out of the squad this past weekend that was determined on the matchday -1 with Julia and Lee both being out of the squad last weekend, and have trained in a modified capacity this week, and we're hopeful to have both of them on the weekend. And other than that, no news.
It's a big comeback at the weekend. How strong, how like promising a performance was that for you to come back from 2 goals behind, those 2 late goals? It was a big point in the end.
Yeah, Maria actually had some really key words at the end of the match, just around the resilience and the belief in the team, and how much that first goal really brought us back into it, and we had chances to win it. I think it's an interesting game when you look at it as a whole, because in the first half, I thought we were a bit ahead of Leicester and had some opportunities in the box that we needed to be sharper on. And the goal, obviously, look, it's a handball, and it came against the run of play, and that's always difficult to go into halftime as such, and then equally to come out of halftime and concede so quickly. So we changed our game plan to come out and press a bit higher up, but equally Leicester changed their shape in the second half, and I think it just really allowed us to exploit and get in behind in wide areas. And yeah, it's a credit to the group. They're two different but really good finishes, and areas that we felt we could exploit them with runners beyond the back line. And it's good to come back and get a point. I think in past the team may not have, but yeah, came back and made it a 2-2 game, and had maybe 2 opportunities where we could have won it. So there's a lot to take from it, just in learning about ourselves, and we know we have to be better off the back of our 2 recent performances going into the weekend ahead.
That's another goal for Elizabeth. She's the WSL's top scorer. That's 70% ER goals. How crucial is she, and just how good could she get? Because she's had an amazing season so far.
Yeah, the best part about Terry is how she adds value day in and day out at training and team meetings, the standards that she demands first and foremost of herself, but then to others as well. And she really is constantly pushing the team forward, always asking where she can do better and more. She comes off the pitch thinking, I want that third goal. Ultimately, she's not even satisfied with the 2, and just shows how hungry she is. So I don't think you have a ceiling on players that have mindsets like that.
And it's Aston Villa this weekend. Do you think their start's been indicative of how strong they really are? Because they played really well at City at the weekend. They've had a few results where it's been close, but they just haven't necessarily got the points this season.
Aston Villa is a very good side. We went through the same stretch of games where you're playing top 4 teams back to back to back, and they did in the first block of games, and had a really difficult schedule, and to be honest, lost a lot of games late as well. When you look at the timing of which they conceded goals, and they have quality and abundance in their squad throughout the first 11 and onward, and we know that there'll be a difficult challenge. Both teams obviously sit close in the table, and we'll be going into the weekend looking to pick up points before the close of this side of the year.
Thanks, Mel. That's all from me. Good luck.
Thank you.
Sean?
Hi, Mel. Just more on Aston Villa. Obviously, they've had such a good season last season. Coming into this season now, not the greatest of start. What do you think sort of gone wrong early on in the season for them?
I think it's hard to comment on that, and not really something I'm probably interested in commenting on. You never really know. It's quite easy to judge and look at the outside looking in, but like I said, they've had a really difficult run of games, and wouldn't be able to comment too much, not knowing what goes into the day in, day out business through their camp.
Regardless of their form, they will have Rachel Daly up front, who scored in all but one of the past 5 games. What makes her so good, and how difficult is it to stop a striker who is in such good form?
Yeah, I think, look, Rachel's been a really key player for them, both in open play and getting on the end of deliveries into the box. And we know she's a threat to find the back of the net from crosses, to find second phase balls that she pounces on in the box. And but I never think there's going to be any focus on any one player. Of course, she's a threat and something that we'll prepare accordingly for and be aware of inside the box. But ultimately, we're looking at ourselves holistically and where we can improve from the last two games and really put our stamp on this game.
One final one for me. It's obviously the final one before the Christmas break. How do you feel this first part of the season has gone for you?
I think the most important thing is that we've continued to progress and move forward, and been very self-aware about where we're at, how close we are, what we feel we need for a tipping point. And it's a fantastic group of people and characters that we have who consistently have taken ownership over performances, results, errors, goals, the areas we want to move forward in. And that's what we'll continue to do. I think a large part of our preparation has been focusing on ourselves and being really thorough about what to expect or what we feel we're going to expect in a game. And we're going to continue on with that process.
Thank you, Mal, and good luck.
Thank you.
Hello. Sorry. Hi, Melissa. Just one from me. I think Turland's now got 7 goals in 9 matches. Has she set herself any targets for the season, or have you set her any targets to challenge her further?
We speak week in and week out about her development as a striker, both in the box and in open play. I think, she was on one of these press conferences not too long ago, and really her focus is on contributing to the team. She's a fantastic teammate. She's one of our hardest working players. And she's really driven and hungry to grow off the pitch. So I think, of course, she'll want to continue finding the back of the net, but ultimately she knows there's other areas of her game where she wants to contribute, from assists and in open play and getting us up the pitch. And so I don't think we're ever putting ourselves or herself too much pressure on her. And it's just about making sure that she grows. She's still such a young player, mature and wise beyond her years, but still has so many areas that she can continue to push forward in. And I think when you put too much pressure on players at this time, it's not good for anyone.
Thank you. Best of luck for the weekend.
Thank you.
Hi, Marissa. Just following on from that, I just raised my hand because in the press conference after the game on Sunday, when Elizabeth came in, she was talking about the goals that got away rather than the ones that she scored. So does that sort of encapsulate what you were saying? Do you appreciate that sort of attitude?
Of course, yeah. Who doesn't? Who doesn't want a striker who scored 2 goals and is kicking themselves for not finding the winner? And I think that's the mindset that I've consistently spoken about with Terry, that she's always asking herself of more first and foremost before she then asks her teammates of more. So there's a lot where she leads by example. And the goals are really no surprise because it's a credit to the way that she prepares and learns from every game.
Yeah. And after that game, you spoke about a couple of niggles you've had within the squad. Sorry, I missed the start of your press conference, so you might have answered this, but are those players back? I think it was Julia and Lee. Yeah,
we spoke on that early on. They both trained in a modified capacity this week, so we'll have to see when it comes to the weekend of what's in the best interest for both of them.